Hey guys, today I wanted to tell you a little bit about why the application process should be a candidate's best friend and an uneducated HR's team's worst enemy. So first of all, when you're applying to a job, there's always going to be a job description, right? And far too often we breeze along that job description and we don't actually read it line by line. Read it line by line and make sure your resume is aligned to it as best as possible. Next, when you actually apply to the job, there's going to usually be some sort of screening form that you fill out online on the applicant tracking system on their careers page or wherever you're applying to the job. Now that screening form is going to have questions. Now, let's just say that the job description says you have to have been in charge of a team of 5 or more people. Now, on the screening form, it's going to ask you often, how big of a team have you led in the past? So if you put 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 plus, there's one answer that's correct that's going to get your application to move forward, and there's one answer that's incorrect that's going to stall your application or give you less points. So this is where you have to be able to explain your answer but also be truthful. Never lie on an application. However, if I had a team of 4 people and I make the 5th and I realize that the question is 5 or more, I would probably answer, yes, I've led a team of 5 or more people because I'm accountable to myself. So make sure that as you're answering those questions on the application, those questions are going to be aligned to the job description, and then your job description will be your roadmap for how you're actually going to answer those questions and get passed on to the next round. Because let's be honest, if you're not answering those questions correctly, somebody else is. When there's 35 million people are unemployed right now in the US, if you're not answering those questions right, someone else in your network is, and they're going to get passed to the next stage. So make sure you're answering those questions correctly. Next, when it comes to the interview itself, this is also where the job description is going to be very important for you. So this is why I was saying uneducated HR teams are their own worst enemy. When you apply to a job, right? Often that job description, and I don't agree with this, and I will never put them on job descriptions I create, but often on the very bottom of that, it's going to say key attributes. And those key attributes are team player, must be an entrepreneurial spirit, must have strong, honest, and integrity. Of course, every job, every person you're hiring has to have a strong integrity and honesty about them. However, if they're putting it on the job description, that means it's a core value or it's really important for their culture. So, or maybe really important for that job. So for example, if you're applying to a job where it's a manager role, well, and it says must be a must be a lone wolf. Well, obviously you're not going to be leading a team. The manager is just for the title, not really for the team environment. Some companies do that because they want to pay you more, but they're not going to be able to pay you more as an analyst or or a specialist. So they call it a manager. But then when the interview happens and you get that motivational question, how would you describe yourself? You can then describe yourself as I'm a team player. You can then describe yourself as I have a real big entrepreneurial spirit because I enjoy doing things on my own and building and creating. Now that sounds great and all, right? And it is great. But the truth is as an interviewer, I have no idea if that's really the truth or if you were just really good at reading the job description. So for candidates out there, when you read the job description and they give you that key attribute section on the bottom of what kind of personality you need to have to be a fit for the culture, if you need a job, make sure you know what those answers are. Because when they ask you what kind of person you are, that's going to be your key. Now, I'm not telling you to lie because I really believe that at the end of the day, if you're applying to something you're not a fit for, you're not going to last, okay? You're going to wash out within 3 to 6 months, and there's a reason why. I think it's 31% of people in the U.S. quit a job or are fired within the first 6 months, and 68% of those quit within the first 3 months. So that means 210 out of 1,000 people are quitting a job within the first 3 months of getting it. Now, maybe not in this new climate that we walk forward in, but in the past. So what that means is that we're not very selective on what kind of culture we join. I think we should be very selective on what kind of culture we join. But just be aware, HR folks, that if you're creating your job description and you're putting those key elements on the bottom, you are giving a pass to a bunch of candidates that may not actually be a fit for your team, and you're not setting your team up for success. So with that, I hope everyone has a good day. Remember, join us on Thursday 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live for our Q&A. Also, please come over to our YouTube channel at Hired How to Get the Job. Check out all this content, all Facebook content, all content I put over there at YouTube. So if you don't want to miss something, subscribe to that channel. Have a great day.